اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين، ثم الصلاة والسلام والتحيات والإكرام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا وحبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. صلى الله عليه وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين، سيما بقية الله في الأرضين حجة ابن الحسن روحي وأرواحنا لتراب مقدمه الفداء، الذي بيمنه رزق الوراء وبوجوده ثبتت الأرض والسماء. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. For the reappearance of our 12th Imam, please recite a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli. Thursday night, and it is the night where it's mustahab to do the ziyarat of Abu Abdullah alayhi salatu wassalam. And it is also a night to visit his shrine and visit his grave. And to do ziyarat of this is highly recommended on Thursday night. And we are also within a crisis of a time where Shia Islam is currently facing a moment where it is being surrounded by the entire dunya, and we are witnessing the storms of the Akhir Zaman as we go along as the day passes by. Dear Mu'mineen Mu'minat, these Thursday night programs have to transform from it being a weekly routine to a movement. It has to be that these weekly programs are transformed from a time where we were previously before Ramadan. It has to be completely different. The format has to be changed. And it has to be trying to inspiring and bringing along our younger children and our youth and bringing them under one banner, under one platform. Because in the times that we are currently living in, we have to understand that it is not a coincidence what is taking place within the world. It is not something that is an ittifaq. It is not something that was due to happen because there are enmity between two countries. No. This is something that is a promise by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is something that will take place within the Akhir Zaman, where falsehood and truth will have reached the peak of all battles, will have reached the peak of all clashes. And that is what we are witnessing today. We're not witnessing something that is coincidental, as I mentioned. And the overarching plan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so that our statuses can be verified in these final times. Each and every single one of us, we will be tested. Our iman will be trialed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to verify each and every single one of our aqeedah and our belief. That will be cemented as your identity. And this will all take place before the dhuhr of the 12th Imam. Because the Imam who is due to come, the Imam who is due to become the Imam of the East and the West, is not just the Imam of Kufa, he's not just the Imam of Nishapur, he's not just the Imam of Karbala. Rather, he's the Imam who will have a universal government. He's an Imam that will require international and universal minded people. Not people who are just thinking locally. Not people who are just thinking about what is taking place within inside of this postcode. No. The Imam requires helpers and companions, those who think on a global level, who understand matters on a global level, who has basira, who has ma'rifat, who have that deep understanding of the times that they live in, who understand when to speak and when not to speak, who understand when to make a move and when not to make a move. At the end of the day, Sayyidul Shuhada alayhi salatu wassalam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Within inside of his time, before the major movement of our third Imam, before Karbala had taken place, the dunya had already been sifted. The bad seeds had been sifted on one side, the good seeds had been sifted on another. The righteous were sifted amongst each other, and then amongst them there were the superior people, and amongst them there were people who were of less superiority. Within inside of this time, because we have to try to see how we can take 61st Hijri to Baqiyatullah al-A'zam. We have to see how we can make that link. Because at the end of the day, we have to understand that when our 12th Imam, he does dhuhr, how is he going to introduce himself? He will say, Ala ya ahl al-alam, ana ibnu alladhi qataluhu atshana. I am the son of the one who was slain thirsty on the plains of Karbala. This is how the Imam will introduce himself. If the Imam alayhi salam would have introduced himself another way, then it would have been understood that the Imam is introducing himself in a way where the dunya will understand this matter. Meaning that the movement of Sayyid al-Shuhada alayhi salam will become so global, the principles of Karbala will have become such a universal matter and a global phenomenon, that the Imam, he will introduce himself to the people and to the dunya through the matter that they understand. Hence why he will say that I am the son of Hussein ibn Ali alayhi salam. He will not say that I am the son of Imam al-Askari. He will say, Ana ibnu alladhi qataluhu atshana. That's the first words of our 12th Imam. And the truth of the matter is that today the paradigm of the dunya has shifted. What was before the month of Ramadan is not exactly going to be the same ever again. What was before the month of Ramadan has completely changed for us as an ummah, as a nation. This sense of urgency that you are feeling, that is increasing on a daily basis, is not a sense of paranoia because there are countries going to war. The sense of urgency that you are feeling is because we are moving towards a promised time. We are rapidly moving towards the dhuhr of the 12th Imam. And this height of urgency that you have within inside of you is simply because we are stepping towards that direction. And this is a shift within inside of the core of humanity. What we are witnessing today. It is a shift within inside of the core of humanity. The dunya is positioning itself, the world is positioning itself properly because we are heading towards a final destination. And the question that was once risen in Karbala, the question that was once taken place within inside of the plains of Karbala, that question has been raised again within inside of this time, within inside of the occultation of our 12th Imam. And we are in the midst of a major test, as I mentioned earlier on. This is a major test, a major imtihan for the mu'mineen and mu'minat to verify and to cement who do they identify as. You know how they say that you have to choose the right side of history? You should be able to choose that. Now is the time for you to verify your identity. Now is the time where you have to cement exactly who you belong to, where you belong to. At the time of our third Imam, he had said, Ala inna ad-du'i ibn ad-du'i qad rakkadhani bayna as-sillati wal-dhilla. That the son of the one who is claiming, he has made me choose between two paths. He has made me choose between unconditional surrender and between death. It's either I do bay'at of his or I choose martyrdom. This was the question that Imam alayhi salam was asked at that time by the Yazid of his time. The Imam was not asked to leave his ibadat. It was not asked from Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam to leave your namaz, to leave your du'a kumail. It was not asked from the Imam to leave Masjid al-Nabawi or to leave. No. What was asked from Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam? Bay'at, allegiance. So as long as you submit your allegiance, you can pray, you can recite your du'a kumail, you can be a Muslim, but you have to surrender and you have to submit your allegiance. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, his response was, Mithli la yubayi'u mithla. Somebody like me, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, will never be able to surrender or pay allegiance to somebody like him. Imam alayhi salam did not say, look at the wording. He did not say, Ana la ubayi'u Yazid. He said, Mithli, the one who treads on my path. And these principles are forever. These principles are universal. These principles are going to exist until the day of Qiyamah. Somebody who treads on my path will never be able to accept the side of Yazid. This was the response of Sayyid al-Shuhada alayhi salatu wassalam. We have a look at today in today's world. We have Secretary of States of different countries. They come and say that we cannot negotiate with these people because these Shi'as, they believe in an apocalyptic version of Islam. They believe in a fanatical idea that a Messiah-like figure will arrive into the final times, and his name is Mahdi, and he will appear into this world, and he will universally govern the entire world. Therefore, our capacities will be challenged. And it will be apparent and known to the entire dunya, the one who has a glass and is standing next to the ocean, the one who has a container, the one who can fill much more as a capacity within inside of this time. Now is the time where our capacities and the dharfiyat of an insan is going to be challenged and tested. Therefore, as I mentioned, that the Ahl Iman and the Ahl Batil, they will both be tested in such a way where they will be sifted and separated. These sufuf and these lines, they will be separated, and it will be apparent to the entire dunya that these are two sides, and now it's time for you to select which one do you belong to. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَحَسِبَ النَّاسَ أَن يُتْرَكُوا أَن يَقُولُوا آمَنَّا وَهُمْ لَا يُفْتَنُونَ. That do you not think that I will test and trial your iman and your faith? I will challenge your faith. وَلَقَدْ فَتَنَّ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. That I have tested and trialed the iman of every single Nabi that has existed. Recite salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. على حب الزهراء سلام الله عليها صلوات على محمد وآل محمد. أحسب الناس أن يتركوا. Do you think we're going to leave them alone? No. Our iman is going to be challenged. What we claim, our aqidah in the 12th Imam, that is going to be tested. Our aqidah in Sayyid al-Shuhada alayhi salam is going to be tested. We come every single year towards our masajid, and we participate in Muharram lectures, and we listen every single year that Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam, when he had come to his father and he had asked from his father, أَوَلَسْنَا عَلَى الْحَقِّ, that are we not on the path of righteousness? Are we not on the path of truth? Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam says, Bala, yes, we are on the path of truth. And then he said, إِذَنْ لَا نُبَالِي, then what should we be afraid of if we are on the path of righteousness? It's either that maut and death is going to come charging towards us, or we are going to charge towards death. This is what we listen to every single year, but these matters have to come to practicality. It cannot be matters that have remained in the depths of speeches, in the depths of majalis, and then in the depths of nohas. No, we have to have some sort of movement. And I've seen from different communities within inside of this Akhir al-Zaman and these times that we are currently living in, I've seen that they have committed to having weekly Wednesday programs where they have namaz istighasa with Imam al-Zaman. They call all of the community members to come together, and they announce that we are going to have istighasa with Hujjat ibn al-Hasan. They unify together, they recite the salah, and they have this dua afterwards. We have to have some sort of movement after the shahadat and the martyrdom of our Shaheed al-Qaid. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He has placed this sacrifice in front of us. And He is saying, O Shi'as, what will you do in response to this matter? I would like to highlight 4 groups that had emerged from Karbala and related to this time, inshallah. Recite salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. At the time of Karbala, there were 4 groups that had emerged. Number 1 were those people who were so loyal to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam that they did not flinch for a single moment. They had no shak. They had no doubt in who they were. They had verified their identities from beforehand. Similar to this, in the Akhir al-Zaman, there will also be people who have identified themselves properly, and they will have verified what their iman is and who exactly they are. The Ahl Nifaq, those people who belong to hypocrisy, will be separated and will become under the spotlight. Those people who are Ahl Iman, they will be under the spotlight also. At the time of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, Imam had said, Inni ma ara ashabun awfa min ashabi. that there is no comparison of the previous and in the future of the companions of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Habib ibn Madahir, Muslim ibn Awsaja. These are people that Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam says, there's nobody that is more loyal than these people who had stood with me. In the time of Imam al-Zaman also, he will say, Inni ma ara ashaba awfa min ashabi. That I have not seen more loyal companions than mine. Why? Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salatu was salam. He was once sitting with his companion, Aba Khalid al-Kabuli. And he says, Aba Khalid, he says that I was speaking to the fourth Imam. And he was talking to me about the Akhir al-Zaman, about the final times. And the Imam, he looked at me and he said, Ya Aba Khalid, in ahla zamani ghaybatihi afdala min kull zaman. That the people of the Akhir al-Zaman, the people of the final times, they are the greatest of all. They are the best of all nations. They are better than the people of Badr. They are better than the people of Uhud. They are better than the people of Khandaq and Khaybar. They are even better than the people of Karbala. Afdala min kull zaman. Why? There are two conditions. Number one, al-qa'iluna bi-imamatihi. They have no shak and doubt in Hujjat ibn al-Hasan. Whatever storm takes place, whatever difficulty, whatever trial takes place, they do not have a doubt that the Imam is alive, he is hadir, he is nadir, he is in between them. Al-qa'iluna bi-imamatihi. Al-muntadhiruna li-dhuhurihi. They are proactively awaiting for the dhuhur of the 12th Imam. And intidhar is an amal. Intidhar and awaiting the 12th Imam is transferring from a state that is not a state of contentment, from that state moving it towards perfection. That is what intidhar means, heading towards perfection. Intidhar means awaiting for the day that will be a lot more brighter than today. Intidhar and awaiting means that we are transferring from one state to the other. Intidhar means that we are proactively moving towards the 12th Imam. We are heading towards that area. Inna zaman ahli ghaybatihi afdala min kull zaman. And it is said about Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salatu was salam. He says, Sayyidi, law adraktuhu la khadamtu ayyam hayati. That, oh my Mawla, he's talking about his grandson, the 12th Imam. He says, oh, how I wish I was in your time. I would have dedicated my entire life to you. This is the Imam of the Maktab. We call ourselves Shia Ithna Ashari Ja'fari, correct? That's our madhab. We relate our madhab to Imam al-Sadiq alayhi salam. But the 6th Imam himself, who is a Ra'isul Madhab, he is saying, what? That if I lived in the time of the 12th Imam, or how I wish I lived in that time, I would have dedicated my entire life to him. I would have dedicated everything I have to him. So continuing on from my hadith, where the 4th Imam, he tells Aba Khalid that the people of the final time, they are greater than all of the other nations. And then he gives a dalil also, a reason to why. He says, لِأَنَّ اللَّهَ أَعْتَاهُم مِّنَ الْعُقُولِ وَالْأَفْهَامِ. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given these people of the Akhir al-Zaman such ma'rifat, such intellect, and He has given them such basira. مَا صَارَتْ بِهِ الْغَيْبَ عِنْدَهُمْ كَالْمُشَاهَدَةِ. That the occultation of the 12th Imam and his presence are absolutely no different to them. That if the Imam is in the occultation, they will still follow him. They will still have yaqeen in him. If he has arrived into this world, they still have yaqeen in him. Their iman is based on books. Their iman is based on the kutub that are written by Marhum Kulaini. The books are from Allama Majlisi. Their iman is based on this. The people of Badr, dear mu'mineen, I'd like to ask you, the people who had stood with the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, they had heard the kalam of the Holy Prophet. They had seen the miracles of the Rasulullah. Hence why they had made a decision to become Ahl Iman. But my question from you is that none of you have heard about a hadith from an Imam Ma'asum directly. No, we haven't. Everything we hear is from our kitab, our books. A Maulana will come to you and sit on the mimbar and he will say, قال الصادق قال الباقر قال أمير المؤمنين. None of us have heard anything from the Imam Ma'asum. But our fourth Imam, he says that the people of the Akhir al-Zaman, they are those people whose Iman is based on ink on a paper. Their Iman and their faith is based on ink on a paper. This is why they are afdal min kulli zaman. Their yaqeen and their Iman is like that of the Ahl Badr. And their Iman is of such that they are ironclad. كَأَنَّهُمْ بُنْيَانٌ مَرْسُوسٌ. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that these people are ironclad. Within inside of the Islamic Republic, we saw in Layali Qadr, people were sitting in the streets. They had the Qur'ans on their heads. Under consistent bombardment, B-2 bombers are flying over your heads. But you are still sitting there, Layali Qadr, with no fear. أُولَٰئِكَ لَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. This is the promise of the Qur'an. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا رَبُّنَا اللَّهُ ثُمَّ اسْتَقَامُوا تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. That those people who claim Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be their Lord, and those people who claim this deen and this religion and this progeny of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad alayhimu salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali. تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. The angels will come for them. We can't see it. We are looking at this from TikTok. We are looking at this from social media, from Instagram, from different platforms. We can't see the angels. Because it's the promise of the Quran. تَتَنَزَّلُ عَلَيْهِمُ الْمَلَائِكَةُ. We are going to send angels for them. And لَا تَخَافُوا. And the angels will come and give them good news. Do not be afraid. For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with you. Allah is with you. This is group number one that we will witness in the Akhir al-Zaman, people who are ironclad. Group number two that we will witness will be the enemies of Islam. Just like the first group, this group will also be ironclad. They will also have this feature of not being shaken from their place. Their kufr and their disbelief will be of such height and such greatness that it will try to match the piety of the Ahl Iman in this Akhir al-Zaman. Summum bukmun umyun fahum la yarja'un. Summum bukmun umyun fahum la yurja'un. That they are deaf, dumb and blind and they cannot see the haqiqat or the reality of anything in this world. 165 schoolgirls of Minab, they were murdered. They were blown into bits. And till today, there are mothers who are sitting on their qubur and they are crying for their children and their loved ones. There are many people who are within this country and different countries and they are saying what? They're saying that if this has happened in a good cause, then let it happen. There's no problem. If this is happening in a cause where it will help our ego and our understanding of how this world should be run, then children being sacrificed in our understanding, that should happen and there should be no problem. They cannot see the haqiqat and the reality of anything. Why? Because in the Quran Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says what? Allahu waliyul ladina amanu. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the wali and the guardian of those people who do what? يخرجهم من النور إلى الظلمات. الله ولي الذين آمنوا يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور والذين كفروا أولياؤهم الطاغوت يخرجونهم من النور إلى الظلمات. That those people whose guardians are the taghut of this dunya, whose guardians are the oppressors of this world, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take them out of the nur and put them into darkness. They cannot see anything. They will not be able to witness anything. This is group number two that will emerge in this Akhir al-Zaman that we are witnessing with our own eyes. Group number three that we will witness. Ummatan asrajat wa aljamat wa tanaqqabat. Those people who will financially assist against the uprising against Imam al-Zaman. those people who will assist in all sorts and all manners, financially, physically, logistically. All of these people who are under this group and those who had hidden their faces and assisted the uprising against the 12th Imam, we have a look at the Gulf states and those nations. It's surprising to you that the one who had given the green light for the murder and the illegal and inhumane massacre of 165 girls and our leader, a marja taqleed, was Saudi Arabia at the very start. They were the ones who gave the green light. They pushed for this matter. These are people who are tanaqqabat. They are hiding their faces, but they are logistically providing support. This will also be within the Akhir al-Zaman that we are witnessing today. However, the fourth one that I would like to mention, the fourth group that will emerge in these storms in the Akhir al-Zaman is the most dangerous one. Ummatan sami'at bidhalika faradiyat bih. The nation that will have heard the uprising against the 12th Imam, but they chose to remain silent. Those who did not have a spine. Those who did not have any courage. My question to you, may Allah rest the soul of Allama Dhafar Abbas, who had passed away very recently. How many majalis were held in his honor? And it should have been held in his honor. Because he was such a great alim. He had done so much for this community. He had done so much for the Shia community in the West. All of the centers should have commemorating this way. Because why? إِذَا مَاتَ الْفَقِيهِ الْعَالِمِ. If a faqih has passed away or has died from this world, there's a void that is created within Islam that will never be لَا يَسُدُّهَا شَيْئًا, that will never be filled ever again. But my question to you is, that the leader of the Islamic Ummah of the time, he did not pass away, he did not die of a terminal disease or illness. He was murdered in his own blood in such a way that none of the awliya of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had been murdered this way from the time of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. He was blown into pieces in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where was the outrage? How many Shia influencers do we have on Instagram, on TikTok and all these places? The condemnation was not sufficient. It was not sufficient that we did not commemorate him properly. After 30 days, we have realized now that there are some people who are holding majalis. There's no point of this anymore. It should have happened at the very beginning. Why? Because we live and abide by the laws in this country. There's nobody that has asked you to move or work outside of this framework. Everyone says, Maulana, we have to respect the law of the land. Yes, we have to respect the law of the land. We have to be law-abiding citizens. But within the framework that is provided to you, you should have a spine. Within the framework that you are in, you should be able to have some sort of courage and audacity. If they have the audacity to come outside of Islamic centers, you have a look at Imam Rida Culture Center, you have a look at Islamic Center in Maida Vale. They come and they are parading at our shuhada. They are laughing and joking. They are playing music outside. This is mockery of the Shayyu. This is an absolute mockery of us. When is it going to be the time that we are going to become awakened and aware of these matters? And believe me, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take each and every single one of those accountable who remain silent in this time. What face are we going to show towards the Imam al-Zaman? The 12th Imam who will come, and he will come and take us into accountability. What did you do during this time? We must have a response. Each and every single one of us are muwaddaf, we are duty bound in this time. Not just the people who are standing on the streets over there and they are chanting Hayhat minna thillah. No, not just them. Me also, who am living in London, I have a wadifa. I have a duty. You have a wadifa also. And I would like to mention 2 to 3 duties and end of my majlis, inshallah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. But before I mention that, we have 400 centers in the UK. Only 20 to 25 centers manage to hold a Fatiha Majlis Tarheem. Al-Quds this year was supposed to be Al-Quds that was supposed to be like never before, although it was banned. Yes, that's understandable. But why were there only 12 ulama who had arrived outside of the 300 ulama that we have over here? For our state and for our condition, فَلْيَبْكِ الْبَاكُونَ, people should cry out our state. Because we listen to these majalis every year in Muharram. Every single year we listen to Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, Hal min Nasr yansurni, Hal min Nasr yansurni. And we say, Labbaika ya Hussein when we go to Karbala. Labbaika ya Hussein has to be shown in practicality. It has to be shown in your spine. If you do not have a spine, then how will you have a stance? You are supposed to have a spine before you can stand straight. If you do not have a spine, then you cannot stand straight. We should be able to be the ones who have a spine. We have Noha reciters who, many of them who earn well over 1,500, 1,600 pounds per hour. They come and recite in our communities. Where are the Nohas in relation to what is going on today? Or are Nohas only related to 61st Hijri? You see, the one who likes to confine Karbala into 61st Hijri, that person has failed the University of Karbala. But the one who takes Karbala to the Dhuhr of the 12th Imam, he has graduated from this university. The one who has failed from this university will confine it to 61st Hijri. He will keep reciting about what happened in Sham. He will keep reciting about what happened in Sham-e-Ghariba. You have to take Sham-e-Ghariba and bring it today. We have to see where we are standing on the battlefield of Karbala. So this is the fourth group and category that will come out in this dunya, that we will witness ummatan sami'at bidhalika faradiyat, a very dangerous group. The two duties that we can adhere to. The first duty is to see what we consume. In the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانَ إِلَىٰ طَعَامِهِ, that an insan must see that what he is consuming. Because one small luqma of haram, one small bite of that which is considered to be forbidden for you, it can go a very long way. If you think about in Ashura, why were they so blind? Why could they not see that this is the grandson of the Prophet? Why could they not see that this is Ali Rasul? Why? Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, he said, مُلِئَتْ بُطُونَهُمْ بِالْحَرَامِ, that the reason to why they cannot see past the reality is because their stomachs are filled with haram. You know, just because we look at a restaurant and it says halal, there's a certificate on it, do not give it your entire trust. Just because somewhere that says Five Guys has become halal, KFC has become halal, do not give your ears into it, do not give your mal into it. Consume that which is halal, which you have yaqeen and certainty on. Because if we are living in these lands and we are eating from that which is not halal, believe me, it will have an effect. Even if you do not know and have a yaqeen that this is halal or haram, and it is haram in fact, it will have an effect on your wujud. It will have an effect on who you are. Hence why some people cannot say anything. Because their wujud does not allow for them to have that. Jur'at and audacity only comes from an halal luqma. And there's a poetry that says, Me'yare Hubb Ali halal zadagist, that in fact the criteria of loving Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam is to be born into a halal family, is to be from a halal lineage. And then he says, Me'yare Hubb Reza halal luqmast. He says the criteria of Hubb al-Rida is having halal luqma, is having something halal to eat. That person has Hubb al-Rida alayhi salatu wassalam. Salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So we have to see, dear children, dear youth who are present over here, do not subscribe to everything. Look at where if there's anything that you are subscribed to that is assisting the genocidal front of this dunya, which is Ahl Batil, do not subscribe into that anymore. You have to remove these for the sake of Allah. Remove these subscriptions. Do not attend those places where any of your mal will be gifted to them. And do not consume that which is going to be harmful for yourself, for your children. Try to eat halal and tayyibah, bring that at home, and enjoy these foods at home. Many people like to have burgers and fries Try to make this at home instead. You'd realize that because you are moving away from impurities, your life will become a lot better. Although there's a lot more to discuss in this field, inshallah, another time. Our first duty is to see what we consume. فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ إِلَىٰ طَعَامِهِ. Number two, and the final one that I'd like to mention, is to understand and learn about the laws of the land that you live in. Know about your qawaneen. Know about the laws of the United Kingdom. Know what you can do, what you cannot do. Work with inside of that framework. Do not allow for them to put you into a box of fear, for you to be completely silenced and alone in that box. Many people have said that it is because of khawf and because of fear that many people did not have any majalis or have anything like that. No, that's not the case. Because the law says something else. The law allows for you to have a memorial. The law allows for you to mourn. In which law in this dunya does it say that you cannot mourn 165 girls? In which law of this dunya does it say that you cannot mourn your marja taqleed who has been killed? We have to learn and understand the laws that we are living in. So two duties that I mentioned. Number one, watch what we consume. Number two, learn the law of the land that you live in. As this will also be an amal that you are committing to within inside of the intidharul faraj for Imam Zaman ajjalallahu ta'ala farajahu sharif. Allahumma. At the end, I would like to send my salam upon Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, and we turn our hearts towards Karbala as it is Thursday night, remembering our shuhada, remembering our shaheed al-Qa'id, and remembering all of those who have been slain fi sabilillah, the children of Minab. I would like to dedicate this salam towards. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Rasulillah. Assalamu ala al-Husayn man tahharahu al-Jalil. Assalamu ala al-Husayn man naghahu fil mahd Mikail. أقرأ من زيارة ناحية من ناحية حجة ابن الحسن. السلام على البدن السليم. السلام على الشيب الخضيب. السلام على الثقر المقروء بالقضيب. السلام على الدماء السائلات. السلام على ساكن في كربلاء ولا راقبوا فيك أثام جرى في قتلهم أولياء ونهبهم رحالا فأهدقوا بك من كل الجهات ولم يبق لك ناصر تذب عن نسوتك وأولادك. وويلا حتى نكسوك عن جوادك فهويت إلى الأرض جريحا تدير طرفا خفيا إلى رحلك وبيتك، وقد شغلت نفسك وأهاليك. رحم الله من نادى وحسينا 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 وحسينا. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفناك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين يا أبا عبد الله، إنا توجهنا واستشفعنا وتوسلنا بك إلى الله، وقدمناك بين يدي حاجاتنا يا وجيها يا وجيها عند الله، اشفع لنا. اللهم انصر الإسلام والمسلمين واخذل الكفار والمشركين والمنافقين. اللهم انصر من نصر الإسلام واخذل من خذل الإسلام، وعجل في فرج مولانا صاحب الزمان. على الأرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات والمرحومين والمرحومات، الشهداء والصديقين، سيما شهيد الآية الله العظمى السيد علي خامنائي، رحم الله من قرأ الفاتحة مع الصلوات. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى